Today we will be making owls. Art with Miss A. Owls are incredible birds that can see in complete darkness. They also can turn their heads 270 degrees around. That's almost making a full circle. Now let's get started. Let's get our supplies all together. You will need a piece of paper, a pencil, and something to color with. That can be color crayons, it could be colored markers, watercolor paints, and if you have egg cartons left over that are made of cardboard or styrofoam, those are great for the eyes and beaks. Now let's get our egg cartons cut down to the right size. You'll need some scissors, and you will be cutting 2 of these egg carton little trays for the eyes, and then using some of the cardboard for a beak. Here I'm cutting the 2 eyes. I'm going to trim them down so they lay flat on the paper, and you can either do the eyes up or down depending on the way you like it. Here I'm trimming the second eye, and I'm going to try to make them symmetrical, meaning equal. It's okay if they're not exactly the same. I'm going to lay them down on the paper to see how they look, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a beak out of cardboard as well. And generally the shape of a beak is a triangle. You can make a top and a bottom beak. I'm only making the top beak, as you can see right here. Now we're going to get our pencil and we are going to draw our owl using simple shapes. So here you get your paper and your pencil, and I would leave some room at the top and sketching out the shapes. The first shape would be the owl's face, which is basically a circle or an oval, and then drawing 2 lines down from that to make the neck and the body, and then 2 triangles for the top of the ears. So follow along with me using very light lines. I like to kind of make the circle with my hand before drawing that out on the paper just to see where the placement is or the composition. I'm leaving some room at the top for the ears and bringing those curved lines down from the oval down to the bottom of the paper. And then on either side of the oval or circle, I'm drawing 2 triangles. If you have watercolors, I recommend trying this. If you don't, you can use color crayons or markers. But here I'm getting my watercolors, my water, my brush, and I'm going to use liquid watercolors, which I like because they're very, they're light, but they're also fluid, and it's kind of fun just to drop different colors. I'm not doing a realistic owl, I'm doing a stylized owl, which means I can make a rainbow owl, a polka dotted owl, and making it not real colors of an owl. If you want to do it realistic, you may want to get a picture of an owl and try to represent the colors you see in a realistic owl's coloring, which is usually browns and blacks and grays. And I'm kind of just looking where the eyes will be laying down, but I'm making it a very colorful owl, and just placing down whatever I think I want to put and following those lines that I sketched earlier of my owl shape. Now I'm layering a second layer of blue, and I'm making a little pattern to show feathers and shadowing underneath the neck. I also am going to bring some up on the ears. Yellow and blue make what color? This is a mixing question. It makes green. So you can see on the paper, I'm actually getting some green because the yellow and the blue on the paper actually mix to green, a secondary color. Our primary colors being blue, yellow, and red. And here I'm continuing making some pattern lines with my brush. If you're using color crayons or markers, you can do the same thing, just color it in however you want. And I'm gonna let that dry for a while, and then I'm gonna come back in and do the background. I let it dry a little bit so the paints don't bleed together, but I'm also going to add some more texture by creating different patterns on top of the patterns I made. Watercolors are actually made to layer, and that's what I'm doing here, putting some pinkish color on top of the blue. Pink and blue make sort of a purple color, so you're seeing that. It's fun to mix and see what happens, and not really have a plan, just kind of going around and adding more layers of watercolor. I'm also going to now work on the background once I finish doing the owl, and I will be doing that with some pinks and yellows as well. Once the whole piece has dried completely, I'm going to bring out my markers and I'm going to start adding some more details. I'm also going to get my glue, which I'll need later to glue down the eyes and the beak. And I am just going to go and create some visual lines. You can use crayons if you want. If you were only using markers and crayons, you might want to go in and do some more patterning and detailing. All right, now I'm going to place my egg carton eyes and beak and see how it looks, and trim down the beak a little bit just to make it a little bit smaller so it fits better for the composition. And then I'm going to decide whether I want my eyes going up or if I want to turn them over and have them kind of looking like they're deep set eyes. I think I'm going to go with this style. That doesn't mean you have to copy. You can do it any way you want. You're the artist. And now I'm giving those egg carton eyes some details with my markers. You can also use crayons. I'm making a big black pupil in the middle, and I'm giving the beak some outlining and some nostril holes. And I'm going to continue coloring the beak and the eyes before I glue it down. Now it's time to adhere the cardboard down to my paper, and I'm just brushing on Elmer's white glue around the edges of the cardboard. If you have a glue bottle with a tip, you can also just use the tip of the bottle. And I'm putting enough on that it'll stick. I'm going to let it dry probably about 5 to 8 hours. And in the end, I will have a beautiful piece of recycled cardboard owl. Hoot, hoot. Here's another version without the cardboard eyes if you don't have that. And here are my two lovely models holding up their versions of their owls. Hope you had fun, and remember, if you can dream it, you can make it, and you can change your world. Bye for now.